everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, Ivan and I are going to be talking about the Golden State Warriors and how their season is shaping up so far.
Yeah, when you look at the Warriors, it's mediocre at best. I think they try to do too much with what they had. They reached too far or too high, you could say.
Yeah.
When we look back at their past multiple championships over, they had a dynasty going on. You had Draymond, you had Clay, and you had Steph as the big three. KD for a while there, and it was phenomenal. They won some of the best basketball teams you've seen in recent years. I feel like the problem started originating when they try to do the two timeline. You see Pods, you see Kuminga, you see what's his name? You remember the Detroit Piston who got traded? They had the number 2 pick. Wiseman. James Wiseman, who now is out of the league already. Which,
really?
I mean, that's pretty. I mean, it's sad to see because he was young, and I know he also faced injuries and whatnot. He had promising potential. He just never panned out. And I also want to point out that I don't think it's all his fault. You know.
Oh yeah, of course.
I don't think Steve Kerr is very hesitant to implement. He likes what he likes and he sticks to that. Mm-hmm. He knows what he gets from his guys from the older generation, and he has a hard time implementing new players, especially when they're rookies and whatnot. Like Pods, not bad season.
He's averaging 12 a game. Same with Moses Moody, and these guys are good, but if I'm Golden State, if I'm the upper management, if I'm Steve Kerr, I want them to be doing a little better, especially with the injuries they have going on. Steph's injured, Porzingis is day-to-day, Butler's out for the season, and so it's just what now? Because when you're sitting at, I think they're like 31 and 28, something like that. I mean,
mid.
Yeah, exactly. And so you're kind of out of deadlock right now. It's what more do you need to win? To not even make the playoffs, but to thrive in the playoffs and to make a championship. They won in 2021, but now 2026, it's can they actually win a championship with this squad? I think that's, and if I'm a Golden State fan, that is what I'm asking right now.
Yeah. When you think Golden State Warriors, you think Steph and Curry. And the question I think you have to think is also, is Steph Curry, is he able to be that number one on the championship still at almost 40 years old?
He's averaging like 28.
He's phenomenal. He is not the problem. It's literally just the pieces they put around him. Jimmy Butler, he was good. I don't think he was the number 2 you need for a championship level team. And I think they understand that too. And now with his injury, and him being out for the season, I think it's a wrap. I think as from a Warriors standpoint, I think you gotta start breaking it apart. I think you gotta start shipping them around. I just think they're hesitant to do that idea. I think they're hesitant to rebuild because they still have Steph Curry playing at the level he is. And they've said before, like Steve Kerr said it before, you can't trade Steph Curry from the Warriors. He is the Warriors.
Yep.
And
he is exactly.
And Steph definitely wants to still compete for a championship, so he's not going to want to rebuild it. So it's just they're kind of stuck in this unequal balance. Yeah, in this limbo. Yeah.
And this is what I'll say. Steph has been out for a while. Now, I think you do not want that injury to pry.
Yeah, I agree.
And what I'll say, what does history show about, dynasty teams? They've had their dynasty, but you look at super teams that were formed, like the Nets, when they had Harden, Kyrie.
It breaks apart, yeah.
And so I admire what they tried doing when they brought Jimmy over. Now they have Porzingis, but the question is, will that even work the way they want it to work? And so I think you need to spruce up veteran leadership and young talent, and with the coaching staff all around. And when all of that builds up into one, then you can think about winning a championship. And I just don't think they can, because we're in a new era of the NBA where underdog teams are starting to raise the roofs. They're starting to make the patches they need to make on their teams, and we're seeing that with the Hornets and the Trailblazers.
We're in a situation now in the NBA where it's no longer super teams. It's really get this MVP level candidate, put good pieces around him, and get a good scorer next to him, and that's your championship contenders most of the time. I think the last super team I would say is maybe the Celtics. They really had pretty much everything going on for them. But for the Warriors, like you said, when everything clicks, it'll click. And if anybody can do it, it's the Warriors front office. I will say that Kuminga was a disappointment. Not Kuminga himself, but how they used him. You see him in Atlanta balling out right now. I always saw him, and I always thought, man, if the Bulls ever got him, I'd be so hyped, over Patrick Williams. Man, come on. And they just misused him. And Steve Kerr is a coach that if you don't fit his idea of a team, he just won't use you, and it just becomes like, why are we using him?
Well, look,
He falls out of rotation. He is with Atlanta.
And look what he's riding the bench I saw, and yet he put up like I think 20 it was.
20, yep,
Yeah.
and a couple good amount of boards. Like he's playing amazing basketball right now. So it is. I think it's just time to tear it down. They just don't want to do that with Steph Curry there, and I don't blame them, But we'll have to see what they go for.
And look what OKC's doing. I mean, I wouldn't even call them the super team. They just have the players that they need to thrive with SGA leading.
It's just smart moves. They did smart moves. They didn't get over. They didn't try to jump anything. They didn't try to sign this player, sign this like superstar. Like so many teams did. Like Bulls did at one point. Vucevic, Smart, Levine, or the Nets. Or they knew what they were doing. They planned for the future, and now it's unfolding really well for them.
Oh yeah, now the Celtics, they have Vooch on the bench, and yet he's just still performing, and then they're winning.
It's a patient game that you have to play as a front office, and it's the ones that really plan ahead that end up prospering the most.
Mm-hmm. I think the Warriors sit at 8th in the West right now. Where do you have them finishing?
I would say they finished at like 9th, just because with the injuries they've been dealing with. 9th or 10th even. Like I'm not surprised that they fall into play-in kind of territory.
Do you think if they do make play-in or they even advance their standings, where do you see them in the postseason?
I think no matter what, they will not rebuild. Like I said, they have Steph Curry, and they don't want to use the last couple years of Steph Curry as a tanking team. So they're gonna fall back into because they're obviously not gonna win no championship anytime soon. They're going to fall into the postseason. They're going to fall, and they're going to lose. And once they enter free agency, they're going to make some kind of moves to help Steph. But it's not going to work because with the pieces that they got, with the contracts they have, they're just in this limbo, like you said, where there's not much they can do. Like, it's just going to be, I think it's just going to be mediocre teams from now on.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.